You have so many people out there that they're talking about all these people losing their jobs, that these people weren't working anyway, and you and I, through tax money, are paying their salaries to do nothing.
I think a lot of younger people are going through jealousy issues and depression, and like there's a bunch of things that are going on, and I honestly think that when someone comes out of that and someone gives them a little push of you should follow God, they do, and then their life is so much better.
Homes are too personal, loans are extremely personal, and at the end of the day, when a big business especially is looking for digital marketing representation, there has to be a personal connection there.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here with Burn the Ships once again. I got my man, Mr. Chad Cabalka over there.
What's going on, big dog?
Hey, you feel my energy, dude? I am a little pumped today.
I know. I'm a little. I you had about 9 extra cups of coffee. Is fun.
Oh, dude, it is awesome. You know, we've had some guests. A lot of times just Chad and I. I think all our guests are very special. I must say that today's guest, in my eyes, is the most special. I have my baby girl, Rylie Jo Townsend, in the house. A current affairs thing, and I thought Chad and I were talking about it, and we thought that it would be really cool to talk about current affairs and get the perspective of a teenager. You guys, you know, you're going to hear my perspective, you're going to hear Chad's. I feel like Rylie Jo is probably one of the more mature 16-year-olds out there, and you know, I just think she has very good insight into what's going on in the world, and we wanted to invite her on the show to give just everything else. So without further ado, my girl Rylie Jo, hey babe, tell our audience a little bit about you.
I'm 16. I do online school at Colorado Early Colleges. I will soon be graduating and for first school
As a
sophomore.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild. Good for you.
And then my next 2 years, I will be taking college classes and getting my 2-year business degree.
So you're gonna have a degree by the time you're 18.
Yes, and when she graduates, I guess high school, right? She will graduate high school with a 2-year business degree.
What did you plan after that? Or I mean, you're only 60. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was 20.
Yeah.
So you got to figure it out, bro.
So I have been looking into a couple digital career paths. I think I'm going to get into digital marketing and affiliated marketing. And then after that, I plan on, once that becomes successful, either having like where I coach people on how to do it or make an agency that revolves around helping different companies with those things.
Already planning to be an entrepreneur. I love it, dude. I love it.
It's to get that shochu mentality like I use, you know, what the hell, yeah.
She's gonna be running our podcast in about 6 months.
She is. When she started talking about the digital marketing and whatnot, you and I have already talked about it. I mean, she will, once she starts doing that stuff, she will a small partner in Burn the Ship. We're going to give her a small percentage to help us grow this thing to leaps and bounds. And I have no doubt she's going to do it and help us. And it's exciting.
That is awesome. You're an absolute rock star. Good for you. So we wanted to have you on to, is there anyone?
No, I'll go ahead.
Like your dad said, we've done a couple of these episodes where we've talked about current events, what's going on in the world. Me as a 37-year-old, him as a 117-year-old. We wanted to get your perspective on things that we see as generic middle-aged white males in America, and get your perspective.
Tiger Woods in Trump's ex-wife.
What? I have not seen it.
Junior's ex-wife is dating Tiger Woods.
What? Trump Jr.'s ex-wife. And you know, it's so funny because I heard that.
I don't follow celebrity like marriages at all, but that's crazy.
Yeah, and so you guys know I get a lot of my news from
The wife?
Andy Frisella. Okay. There's Surf the Internet. I always crack up and I'll listen to it. And they were talking about it the other day. And she was listening to it today. And it was funny because she's like, did you know that Tiger Woods? I'm like, yeah, I heard the same thing you did. But it's so funny because they talk about track list. Like the woman that has been with every whatever supers or whatever. Yeah, they talked about Leonardo DiCaprio. I guess she dated a couple of Saudi princes. Anyway, I'm like, come on, Tiger. You're Tiger Woods, man. You could whatever.
She's clearly got something going on.
She does. We both laughed about it. It was pretty. Anyway, that's not that important. I just thought it was kind of funny.
So do we want to just dive into the meat and potatoes right off the bat?
The market is heating up.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep. Black, it's gone up, rates come down, so we're looking at low sixes right now, high five sometime.
Bitch, Mid sixes, mid sixes. They're bouncing around a lot. The market it's very, very capricious right now. Like it is just bouncing all over the place. So it's volatile, just is. But what I can say is a lot of people are jumping off the fence already. So yeah, like I said before, when that 5875 hits, get ready, buddy, because if you're thinking about buying, I'm telling you, do it now. Do not wait, because if you wait, you'll be left behind. Yeah, well, we're already seeing multiple offers. We're already seeing that. We're already seeing
days on markets come down.
Yeah, days on markets come way down. I think the only houses that aren't selling are the ones that are kind of dumpy and they're asking too much. I mean, other than that, if it's priced right and it's a nice house, you're flying off the market. That's good for everybody to know in the real estate industry, or everybody to know that is thinking about buying a home or selling a home.
Well, let's start with some of the more wild things going on right now. So obviously we have Doge looking into everything that the government's ever done or not done, and it has created a wild amount of activists doing absolutely crazy things, burning up Teslas, spray painting the buildings, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What's your take on all that?
So I think the left side is more like they always complain about how we're the ones that mess everything up and we're the ones that do everything wrong and we cheat and all these things. But right as the right side wins fair and square, the left side decides that they need to they need to make a statement about it. And I think that it's just a bunch of angry people that are like, I'm gonna
vandalize.
Yeah, just like I'm gonna make my own print on something because
throw its temper tantrum.
Right. Like it's like you didn't win something, you didn't do something, you cheated either way, and now you're gonna go vandalize something to make a point. And it's like, I just don't understand why.
Yeah.
Like it makes no sense.
It's funny because the left always wants to be the love and the peace and the acceptance and all that, shown to be nothing but when they don't get their way. Dude, this isn't a right or left show. This is a show about truth. The truth is they have shown that it's violence and it is destruction, and it's when it comes to burning down buildings, blows my mind that it's been allowed to happen. Because if the right side did anything remotely close to that, we would be burned at the stake, right?
Well, I believe that kind of happened with January 6th. I believe a lot of what happened January 6th was justified. I do think that there was some cross the line, but we didn't burn down the Capitol building.
No, we didn't take over city blocks and run people out and, all the stuff that.
Yeah, burning down literal entire cities and in Minneapolis and again, Ferguson and all those places. But yeah, specifically now with the destruction of Teslas, it's now attacking a private citizen's business. If you're protesting and you're protesting government and you're doing sit-ins at a Capitol, or even going to the lengths that January 6th was, that is the people versus the government. But this is a different situation where it's now a private citizen's company that they are actively vandalizing and trying to destroy. Now, a lot of them are being held accountable for it. That's a lot. A lot of them are absolutely getting wrecked. So, you do the crime, you pay the time, you're going to get in trouble and you're going to get hit with really serious charges. But the level of violence and attacks for what he is doing, and it is mind-boggling to me that people are so upset about it. He, as in Elon Musk and Trump and the whole administration, they have found wild financial decisions that are coming directly from our pocketbook and being really paid for by her.
Yeah.
And why the heck are you upset about that? Why?
And I'd love for Rylie. I would love to understand if she could even answer that, because I know I can't. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand how, if you come in and you look at a business and you say, I'm going to help you with your business. We're going to cut all the extra fat so you're more profitable, so you're able to grow and you're able to take better care of your clients, and you're able to not be in debt and fail and all these different things that, if you look at it as a business, there's nothing bad in. To me, what's bad and honestly, it kind of pisses me off is when you have so many people out there that they're talking about all these people losing their jobs, that these people weren't working anyway, and you and I, through tax money, are paying their salaries to do nothing. I have to work for my money. Do you get paid to do nothing?
No.
Okay.
The long and short of it is, it's really her generation, and frankly, even the generation after her, that are footing the bill for all this stupid spending that's going on today.
Yeah.
It's always the next generation that really ends up paying for it. So the youth that are
so pissed off about it. It just doesn't make sense. And I think it's a whole bunch of university indoctrination and all that sort of crap that's making them think that, oh, he's the enemy. No, he's saving you billions and billions and billions of dollars. Personal opinion, but I think it's pretty cut and dry.
I had a conversation recently with a friend of mine, a dear friend, and I do not let politics dictate who I'm friends with at all, ever. I mean, a good person to me is a good person, so I could care less where you're at on that. But I challenged her because she was like, she made a comment like all the craziness that's going on. And when she said that, I know that we've never talked politics. You know my side, I know your side. I go, but can we just discuss what you just said? I just want to understand in your eyes what that means. And she said, well, just with all the Tesla stuff and the car bombings or burning all these Teslas up and all that stuff. And then, all the people losing their jobs and all this stuff. We didn't get to finish the conversation because we got disconnected. I don't know if that was purposely or not. But immediately I was just like, okay, so who's doing the vandalizing? Who's hurting, who's burning these cars up? Who's starting these fires? I mean, certainly it's not disconnected, but I literally, the other side, she just didn't probably want to have the conversation. But the reality was I would love to have conversations with everyone just to understand what is it that you think about all these jobs that are losing when there are people that weren't working anyway and getting salaries. Like, what's your thoughts on that, Rye? What is your thoughts on thousands of people getting paid to do?
Well, I just don't think that's how the world works. I think that if you want to live the very luxury lifestyle or whatever lifestyle it is, if you want to raise a family, I think that in this world, you have to work hard for what you get. And I think that it's very unfair for other people to work hard every single day. I mean, they're coming home, taking care of their families after a long day at work, and they're paying other people's salaries. It just doesn't make any sense. I think that no matter what you're doing, if you want to live any life that you live, you have to work hard for. Like, it does not matter what it is. Even if you are working at McDonald's, like, it literally does not matter. You are still working to earn that money. And if you aren't working at all and you're just getting free salary, it's not fair to anybody around you. I mean, homeless people or whatever it is could go find a job at a fast food restaurant and they're still working hard for their money. And that's one thing. And I can give praise for that. It doesn't matter where you're working. If you are working and you're dedicating your time to a job that you are making money at, then I can give you praise for that. But if you're just not doing anything and you're just living off of other people's hard work, it just doesn't make
any excuses.
Yeah.
Mic drop. I love mic drop. But the thing is, and I want everybody to understand, like, what if I was a billionaire? You think you still work?
That I would work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not my money. It's your money.
Yeah. And
I tell you all the time the life that I want to live, but that's not going to happen without hard work. Multiple years of hard work. You won't get that without hard work. It's your time and it's everything about it. But if you were a billionaire, then I would still have to work. You're not going to be like, you don't have to work. You can just live off of me. That's not how life works.
I like give you some nice gifts every now and then.
Okay, but
yeah.
Once in a while.
All right, well, that's it, guys. We're wrapping up the show now.
Oh, God. I mean, we kind of that was eloquent. Let's move off of the Tesla destruction, and I came up with some pretty interesting questions to ask you. All right, so I came up with a whole bunch of questions that I wanted to ask you, and we're going to try to get through them without burning up too much time. But I really want you to think about the answers to these. So first of all, only 10 states right now require any level of a financial literacy class to graduate high school. That's learning about taxes, it's learning about interest rates, credit, savings accounts, all that sort of stuff. As somebody who's 16 currently going through high school, do you believe that it should be a requirement for a high school diploma to pass even just one semester, one class of a financial literacy class?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
But why I would say that is because obviously I was blessed with people that know that side of stuff, so I can learn it from.
You can see it.
My parents. So I feel it's like you, Rachel. Like there's you. I know. Okay, so I've gotten blessed with those parents that I can learn all those things from, but there's a lot of people that don't. And I think that people will get out of high school and they go to college or whatever they choose to do, and they literally have no clue what to do in the world. Like they're on their own and they have no clue what to do. They don't know how to save money. They don't know how to finance money. They don't know how to buy a house or like any of it. Like the things that you have to do once you move out of your parents' house, nobody knows what to do with any of it. Like literally nobody knows what to do. And
Except for you
well, yeah.
and your boys
My boys and
and those of us that teach our kids. But you're right. Like most parents,
Yeah.
don't.
They don't.
Most of them don't even have financial literacy. So
Yeah.
It was really surprising with my parents. They both had really strong financial acumen. They went through a very, very messy, very, very rough divorce from the time I was 7th grade all the way through graduating high school. It was crazy.
wow.
So I feel like me, my sister, and my brother kind of fell through the cracks a little bit when it came to some of that stuff. And so making sure that my boys understand that, and whether high school is teaching or not, they already have accounts and I already talked to them about it. So, and they're only 7'5". So,
Right.
yeah, by the time they're 18, they're going to know compound interest. They're going to know all the stuff.
And Riley gets it. I mean, we've been able to teach her a fair amount. I mean, I look at it, my mom, God rest her soul, is one of the most incredible human beings I've ever known in my entire life. And I love her to death, but she was not very financially savvy. My mom liked to spend and loved to shop and my stepdad, same thing. I mean, I learned it through the school of hard knocks, right? The hard way. I mean, I look at my career and the money I've made and since I was in my late 20s, and God, if I'd have had a very solid financial literacy or education, I'd be in a much different place than I am right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah, I would give a lot of the credit to my saving and my financial acumen to my wife. Yeah, she's the type that can squeeze a penny and make a dollar. And I've always been great at making money, but until meeting her, I was not great at investing or saving that money. And now, I've had a couple of rough months and I barely even notice it, because we have a very large rainy day fund. We have our investments. We have a lot that most people don't.
Right.
So yeah, shout out Kaiser for sure.
Yeah, big time. I love that. So you work. What do you want to go to school? Where do you work?
I'm a gymnastics coach.
Really? That is awesome.
Yeah, my own gymnastics.
What qualifies you for that?
Doing gymnastics for 14 years.
What was your best exercise?
Exercise?
Well, isn't that what they call on core exercise? Yeah.
Right, okay. Oh, you know what you meant.
Yeah.
Probably vault and floor.
Really?
Yeah.
Those were two. She was a beast on the ball because she's fast and she hit it hard. But your floor is awesome too. Let's talk about that for a second. Just what do you earn as a gymnastics coach? What's your base? What is your average weekly income?
Well, I get paid every 2 weeks, but I get paid $15 an hour, and I'm there 3 to 4 days a week, depending on if I cover classes or not. And I make about $250 every 2 weeks.
$250. Now keep in mind, she's a 16-year-old. They like all this fancy stuff and dad doesn't buy everything for her. So she spends her money. But how much money do you have saved?
About almost $2,000, but I've already put $2,000 towards my car. So $2,000 is my savings, and then $2,000 that my mom has.
So technically $4,000.
You've earned and saved $4,000.
Yeah.
At $400 a month.
200
basically.
Yeah.
So you've saved 10 months worth of your income.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But
Dude,
spending always stresses me out. Like if
Spending stresses you out?
no spending stress us.
Like the Samir what she had. When you start working hard for your money, it becomes really hard to separate from it.
Well, yeah, and I was like, so I wanted this perfume so bad, and so it was like $150 perfume. I could buy it, and I bought it, and I think I had a panic attack or something, and I went and returned it because I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So didn't end up getting that. But
Your boyfriend can add it to the Christmas list.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, that's so awesome. I'm as you can tell, I'm proud because
You shouldn't.
I've never been a saver. I haven't been good at it. I mean, I've saved a lot of money over the years because of making a lot of money. But when I know my daughter is sitting there at $400 a month and she has $4,000 saved, it just that's what I never was taught. I mean, I was like, hey, you only live once. You ain't gonna take it to the grave with you. So spend it.
Right. Now, this may go right in one year and right out the other. But if I could go back and talk to 16-year-old Chad, there's two things I would have done. I would have opened a credit card with my dad, but
literally used it for $50 a month or less than that and paid it off every single month. I would have done that. And I also would have started contributing a very small amount, like $25 a month to a Roth IRA. And if I would have started that when I was 16,
Can you do that at 16? Can you contribute to a Roth at 16 years old?
you can.
Okay.
It has to be a custodial Roth, I believe.
Okay.
If y'all are
We could ask Grady.
right, ready in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I believe it has to be a custodial one that she opens with you.
Okay.
And that 18 and transfers fully over her.
Yeah.
But even $25 a month, starting now and that amount through college, and once you start making real money, just bump it up to $150 a month. I wish I would have done that. Yeah. Because by now, even at that small increment, it'd be a couple $100,000.
Oh, and it's not even with the compound interest of exactly. If somebody would have told me that at my age, at 50 years old, then I'd have millions of dollars in the bank right now.
I mean, 117, probably billions, but
Yeah.
So, just a little bit of unsolicited fatherly advice. Those two tiny things.
such success. And at that small amount, you won't even notice it.
Right.
$25. What's that? 4 Starbucks runs, not even 3.
I'm hoping that more of her will rub off on her older sister and the younger brother.
I can see Bo T being a spouter.
That kid has $5 in his pocket. He's gonna be spending on something stupid that only $5 will buy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm really proud of my sons though. They typically are really good at saving for stuff. Yeah, we've gone to Target. I mean, Landon's only 7, and he's gone to Target with, $30-$40 in his pocket from Christmas or something, and go to the Lego section, see one that's like $120, and he'll take his money home with him. He'll say, "No, I'm going to wait till I can buy that," and that's a good start.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like Carter, on the other hand, he'll just want to buy the stupid small, like,
Yeah.
I want $500.
I need her right now. Just need it. Yeah, I need her so that.
Yeah.
So funny. That is so Bo.
So good chat on financial literacy. I think that's, especially if you're going to go into the entrepreneurial space, I think that's huge for you.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very good quality to have.
Yeah. So second question, a little bit deeper. Your dad and I talked about it before. We've seen Christian values really kind of rise up in college athletics, and we've been able to see a little bit more of it, through Red Rocks and their youth and all that stuff. Do you feel like, number one, that there's kind of a reawakening of Christian values in your generation? And if you do, why do you believe that's happening?
I feel like a lot of people follow what other people follow. You know what I mean? Like when someone's like, if you believe something, a lot of people follow that, right? And I think that after everything that happened and everybody's like, oh, it's going to be the end of the world soon, like whatever. I think a lot.
Going to be the end of the world?
Oh, yeah. What she was talking about this morning. The what? The blood moon or blood? What was it?
It's a blood moon.
The blood moon. Did you see the blood moon?
I did. I didn't know that was a single.
So a bunch of So one dude was like, pulled up a picture of the blood moon that happened at the beginning of this month, and was like, "Do you recognize this picture?" And then he pulled up a TV show of the same picture with zombies, and so now we're gonna apparently have an apocalypse. But just yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, bro, but I'm not big on zombies, dude. I saw a zombie show. I'm like, man, I hope that never happens. I don't want those people around me.
You're sitting in front of a completely stocked gun safe. I know the flyers, buddy, on the outside know that that's not just there for show. That's it just show. If it happens, I'm coming here. I feel like there's always been like the next apocalypse coming.
Always.
Y2K, YTA, 2012. What was that? The end of the Aztec calendar? Oh yeah, I was supposed to die from that. The COVID was supposed to wipe everybody else. Yep, the blood moon.
Yeah. Now it was the blood moon. And even like when you date back to when I was a kid, it was World War III and the whole Soviet Union, the Cold War and whatnot. We were on the brink of that, and that was going to be the end of the earth. Now we're three. We're back on, but yeah, I remember days like literally thinking, man, missiles are going to come over here and we're going to be gone. But go back to why, like, again, you were saying there's a guy that's talking about the blood moon and that coming, what do you think is the real, like the main real push? Like I feel like there is just this Jesus loving young adults in the world today. Like, I think that there is I feel like we as Christians are kind of winning. for the first time in a long time. Like I feel like Satan has won my whole life, with just us as a population. And now every time I look at anything on social media or, college athletes or whatever, I mean, it's just Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And it's awesome. I mean, I love it. But what do you think is the real push behind that? Like what's...
I don't think I have an actual reason of why, but
You see it. You see how your friend is in your social media.
yeah, but I think one of the big things is I think a lot of younger people are going through jealousy issues and depression, and there's a bunch of things that are going on. And I honestly think that when someone comes out of that and someone gives them a little push of you should follow God, they do, and then their life is so much better. Obviously for many reasons, but it's really cool to see because I've obviously grown up that way. But for example, my stepsister did not, and she kind of went through a little bit of a stage where she just wasn't happy with herself. There was just a lot going on, and she started going to church, and she was like, I just need to change something. She started going to church, she started reading the Bible, and now she's probably one of Christian out of who I've grown up with, but most Christian people I know. She's trying to fix herself and follow that and all the pieces. And I think it's super cool to see someone like that's in a hard time and doesn't know what they're doing with their life and all the pieces. And they just get one little nudge and it's they feel like this is right and they go for it and it ends up being the best decision of their life, which it is. But I definitely see it. I think Bo's generation, which is the one under me, it's huge. I'm seeing so many younger kids go to youth group and read the Bible, and they're posting Bible verses on their Instagram and all this stuff, and it's becoming a platform. Social media has been becoming a platform where it's it's okay to share how you feel, which I feel a lot of people step back from. They're a lot of people also don't, but there's a lot of people that are I can't talk about politics on social media. I can't talk about my Christian life on social media or blah, blah, blah. Cause they're well, I know people that aren't Christian, they're going to make fun of me. And I think that that's so out of it right now, that it's all of the social media that I'm seeing, that I have mutual friends on social media and everything. They get one little push from something and they're follow it. And then it becomes the best thing of their life. But I have seen it. It's everywhere.
Maybe a lot of it is my generation really tried to fix themselves with themselves when they were going through problems. They would turn to the world. They would turn to secular things. It's up to me to fix it. They would turn to medication, therapy, which is not a bad thing. Therapy is a great thing. Therapy is a great thing, but not the medication. You can only carry yourself so far. Yeah, I think you're right. One little push and one experience of the positivity and the love that you feel changes everything.
Yeah. And when I saw this girl, and she was down in Denver, and there was a Bible verse on the wall where Mutual was on social media, and she was going through a really, really hard time. And it was literally just that. She saw it. She took a picture of it. She went home. She prayed for the first time she has ever prayed in her entire life, because I talked to her about this after she posted it, because I knew kind of where she stood in that area. Was I think I need to get in this. I think that I can't do anything for myself. My parents can't do anything for how I'm feeling. She started going to church with her parents. She reads the Bible every single day, and she's actually applied everything to her life, and she's completely a new person. She's a completely new person. She doesn't do any of the bad habits she used to do, and it was literally just seeing a Bible verse on a wall while she's walking with her friends, and it was that little nudge.
I know people always have a hard time following something that you can't see. God doesn't physically talk to you. But what people don't understand is those are the things that he does. Right place, right time, turn your head the right way, see this. This is me talking to you. And it's so cool when you hear about somebody actually, because a lot of times they see it and they don't receive it. Right. So that's cool. You never told me about that story. I know it happened very recently.
There's a lot of people who really struggle with the potential truth of the Bible and of Jesus, and the level of historical context that could be taken from it. It's pretty overwhelming when you actually sit down and look at it. When you look at what the apostles went through when they were literally tortured by the Romans to death, their whole families executed, and all they had to say was, no, what I saw was a lie. I didn't see it. If you were lying about it, your kids are about to be fed to lions or burned alive, and you're going to be crucified upside down and beheaded and hung from an olive tree, and all the things that the apostles went through.
one of them is going to crack and be like, no, I'm lying. Yeah, and I say my family.
No,
But beyond that, there's literally hundreds of different historical pieces that you can literally see that, yes, the Bible is real.
well, and the thing is really high over a lot of fable. Yes, and over the last couple of decades, there's been like archaeological findings. Like, I mean, I heard this on Andy, and I didn't even know it. They said that somebody found the ark.
They're not sure, but something.
They found pieces of the boat somewhere. I forget what country it was or whatnot, but
It was on top of a mountain. Just they were like, it's it.
really, yeah. Andy was talking about the other day on one of his podcasts, and I was like, damn, I didn't even know that. But I was like, you have the Bible. I find it hard to believe that thousands of years of scripture, is just not true. We all know it is. But they found the do proof. It's just hard for me to argue with somebody that doesn't believe, but all you can do is pray for them and hope that they, at some point.
But to your point, I think a lot of people really struggle with, is this real or not? And a lot of those people are the people with analytical, logical minds that very science-based have to see it, touch it, feel it to experience it. But if they actually took the time to sit down and explore the historical facts behind the Bible, behind the stories, behind all the things that happen, it's very cut and dry that these stories are true. They are real. Eyewitness accounts of Jesus, the apostles, all the different things that go into it. If you look at it even with a logical mind, it shows that they're true. But I digress.
Yeah, I don't remember. I saw something the other day. I don't remember what his name was, but it was some huge scientist that like he was trying to prove the Big Bang Theory that was real. And he proved that he obviously went the opposite way, and he proved that the Bible was real, and he started believing it. Yeah, I don't remember. I should find it. But it was like, it was a whole article about this huge scientist that was like proving that the Big Bang Theory was real, and everything backfired. It was like we came from like a little piece of dust, and it just exploded and everything.
Anyway, this guy's trying to prove
He's trying to believe of God and proving him.
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable.
pretty much.
That's pretty.
Well, that I commend whoever this person is, because that obviously shows that they were very open-minded going into their study or their, whatever they were trying to figure out. It wasn't a closed-minded thing, right? They went in totally open-minded. Next thing you know, they're like, damn, this is real.
Right.
I love it.
So you want to get into digital marketing.
Yeah.
And AI is something that is exploding right now and is changing the way your dad and I operate our businesses. And a lot of people have expectations or fear that over the next decade and a half to 2 decades, it's going to replace many, many jobs and at bare minimum change a lot of how we work. Has AI even been on your radar as to, I need to, build my business this way or take this class or not go into this career path because AI might absorb it?
No, not really. I've had like people that are online and they're like, well, aren't you scared that AI will take that over? And there's a very good chance that like AI could do this job. It's a digital career, and AI will be able to take over, I think, many jobs. It's not just digital, because everybody will be like, oh, I'm going to use AI. I'm going to use AI. I don't need to work, blah, blah, blah. I believe that when you get really, really good at something, and someone will always choose to have human interaction before using AI. Like if it was for me and I was getting into, say, what my dad was getting into, I would not want to use a computer. I would rather go to have meetings and talk to them. And it makes that person so much special, because it's like, you're amazing at what you do, and people would rather use you than all this AI things. I think a lot of people will go to AI. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have to work anymore, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how that's going to look with obviously financial things, but I do believe the AI will take over a lot of things. Again, there's not going to be many people that are really good at what they do after AI becomes huge, because they're like, I don't need to work. And I think that person that is like, no, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to do all these things that are going to help other people. It's going to become like one of the biggest things. You're going to become so much more because you know what you're doing as a human interaction instead of looking at a computer.
You think the people with the best personality, the best interpersonal skills, and being the best at their job will be safe?
Yes.
It's essential.
And I think all the trade stuff, like when you think about contractors, there's so many of that.
AI can't frame a house.
People talk about pilots and unmanned, planes and stuff like that. And you think about all the stuff that, it'd probably be way after I'm gone is realistic. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, I would never in a million years get on an airplane without an actual pilot in it.
Speaking as a pilot.
Yes, I would not.
Yeah.
I would not get on an airplane just knowing that some computer is going to fly it from point A to point B.
That's a lot of trust in a computer.
Especially with somebody that's had as many problems with the computers as I had. Oh, well, you always just reboot it.
In an aluminum can, 5 meters above the Earth's surface, when you have 600 miles, it'll never answer by a computer.
I think it was you and I that had this conversation. I mean, even just in the loan business, yes, I have zero doubt that there will be people and there will be lending institutions out there that through AI, you'll be able to just, and you can almost do it now, completely go through a very well package. Yeah, an entire loan packet. But the reality of it is will it affect our industry some? Yes. Are most people going to feel more comfortable with a loan officer that they trust, that they can call, that they can talk to, that they can bounce different ideas and different strategies off of and whatnot? Absolutely. The days of, I guess maybe in the refi world, if it's just your super vanilla, easy, I just want a lower rate thing, I mean, we'll maybe lose some of those clients. But when it comes to strategizing on how to make, a mortgage work in your favor and make sure that you're picking the right plan, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to have people for that.
Well, I'm a firm believer that in both of our industries that there was already too many people to begin with.
Yeah,
right. For sure. And what I believe this will do for us and for you in the digital marketing space is the part-timers, that is what's going to be absorbed by this. That 60% of the people who are doing 2% of the work and 2% of the closings and just kind of in it just to be there, they're going to go to 0%. And the remaining 40% of people who actually treat our businesses like careers, show up every day, work hard for the clients, their job's not going anywhere. Homes are too personal. Loans are extremely personal. And at the end of the day, when a big business especially is looking for digital marketing representation, there has to be a personal connection there.
Well, and I truly believe that people are going to think that once AI becomes huge, which it already is, they're going to be like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Like, that's the way I want to go. But then once they actually start using it for everything, just like he was saying about mortgages, you can't talk it out and figure out things with a computer. You just can't. There's going to be a lot of things that you're like, well, I need help on how to do this and how to do that. And you're going to be typing it in a computer or whatever it is. And it's going to be like, well, that doesn't help me at all. I need actual human interaction of this is okay for my situation, but this isn't okay for my situation. And then this is fine, but this is not. And you don't get that from a computer. I truly believe that you won't get better from a computer or AI than you would get from an actual human being.
Well, and let's look at it this way. You talked about digital marketing. We talked about it earlier. Once Rise in that and she's successful in us bringing her on to help us launch, down the road, Burn Ships Apparel, grow this thing and everything else for us. Are you and I going to go to the computer and figure out which AI program to do all that? Or are we going to go to the Rylie and say, we're going to hire you to handle all of our digital marketing? And she may use AI for a lot of it, which she will at that point because it's a big deal and she'll use it for certain aspects of what she's doing. But I mean, I know me, I'm the person that's going to go, I want to hire this girl to handle it all. Yeah. I'm not going to hire AI to handle this all. Right. He's out.
The filing thing, right? It's, if you went to a computer, then one, you're still doing it yourself, but you could go to the computer and be like this, but every time you're like, I don't like this or I don't like this, you're telling a computer what you do and you don't like, instead of just calling whoever up that you hired and just hey, I don't like this, let's change this. It's just so much different. And I think that honestly, people will realize that and everything will go back.
Humans need human connection.
100%.
They do.
That's how God built us. Yep. That's why during COVID, the pressure pins rates went through the roof because, we didn't have the interaction. I mean, God built us that way. I see AI being a great thing for efficiency, cost, cutting out certain aspects of business. But like I said, I mean, she will use it as a tool to do what we need her to do, but we still are going to hire her to do it, not AI. Absolutely. So
the depression is actually a perfect segue. My final question. So 60% of all high school students say at one time or another they've dealt with either anxiety or depression. As a 37-year-old adult, I can admit that I have too.
Is this 60%?
That's the stat that I read.
That actually is that's actually lower than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. It seems like today every other teenager has some sort of depression for something. Yeah, a lot of it's social media, but finish. Sorry.
Do you believe that social media has a massive negative impact on in kids' anxiety and depression. Why do you think that?
And I have social media, so I can't smell discriminatory thing or anything. But last year I dealt with more of depression than anxiety with a lot of things. I had a lot going on with school. I didn't like the school atmosphere, which is why I went online, just not who I am. I didn't go to football games or any of those things, so it just wasn't who I am. But I dealt with a lot of school things. I started dealing with family things that we just, me and my dad were just not really on the same page. Me and my stepmom weren't on the same page. It was just me and siblings weren't on the same page. I think I fell really deep into this hole where I was like, I'm alone and that's okay. I don't need help. I don't need anything. And then bringing social media into that is people can say that they're super confident and all this stuff, but then they're scrolling on TikTok and they see this super pretty girl that it's whatever. And you're like, I wish I looked like her, or I wish I had this. And then your self-esteem goes so low. Yeah, your self-esteem goes so low. And I think it becomes I think social media is a problem with everything. When I think about relationships and people are like, oh, did you check, which I don't know if you guys are going to know what these things are, but people are like, oh, did you check your boyfriend's Snap score? Did you check his repost? Did you check when he was last on TikTok? Did you check who he's following on TikTok? All these things. Oh, those sounds exhausting. Yeah. And that's what people talk about, and it ruins relationships. And then I think about my grandparents that didn't have to worry about how much their Snap score went up or how many people they snapped in an hour.
Can you explain what Snap score is?
So, you know what Snapchat is? Of course. Okay, so when you snap people, you have a snap score of how many snaps you've set. That makes sense? So there's people with snap scores of 500,000 and they've snapped people 500,000 times since
So they just sit there and just snap them all day long?
Well, yeah.
And isn't Snap, is that the one where you just kind of take a picture of yourself and send it?
Yes, it's inserted. It's a time delayed or video that you sent me another delete.
Yeah, so I remember we'd be driving to school and I'd see Rylie go. I'm like, what? She just look at me with this grin on her face, or I'll see Bo. We'll be driving Bo to school and I'll look over and he's like, I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, but it's with self-esteem, and I'm going to be completely honest, I see pretty girls on TikTok and all the things, and I'm like, well, I wish I had this of theirs, or I wish I had this of theirs. And then, but you also have to understand, on social media, people also only post the good things. Usually, you very rarely see someone that's posting real stuff that actually happens. It's the best of the best is I spent $600 shopping today and I got my hair done and I got my nails done and I got my lashes done and all these things. And people really compare themselves to those things. They're like, wow, that's what I wish I had. And that was a huge part of I said before that, I was I'm confident in who I am. I'm good. But then after seeing those things, you realize how much you say those things to yourself once you see someone else. So I think it's a huge thing with relationships. I think it's a huge thing with family, friends, yourself. I think social media is a huge problem. And yes, I do have social media, but I think that it is probably one of the main things that causes depression and anxiety. Completely. I was talking to my dad the other, not too long ago, and I was like, I don't want my kids to have social media, at all. They will not have social media until they're old enough, and it will be a private social media or whatever. And he's like, well, why don't you think I don't want you to have social media?
Her mom and I are divorced, so she's got a split family. And what sucks is I had no problem putting my foot down and stuff. And, without a doubt, if the decision was mine, her and Bo, either one would have it, period. Presley wouldn't have had it until she was 18 years old and considered an adult. And I'd be like, well, you can go do whatever you want now. But, I like it for business. I like it for building a brand. I like it for doing those things. But I think that what it does, and I think the real problem with it is I feel robs people of gratitude, because it's just so easy to get caught into that envy trap, and it's so easy to forget what you're grateful for, and all of a sudden you're seeing everything that's great on social media. And we all know that it's everybody's highlight reel anyway, so we know half of it's bullshit anyhow, right? But the reality is it steals your gratitude. All of a sudden you're like, well, why don't I have that? And why don't I look like that? And why, it's crazy to me. The one thing that I can say at 51 years old, dude, when it comes to the envy trap of when she's talking about, you see these girls and why don't I have that hair, or why don't I have, that body or whatever. I remember when I was young and I was bodybuilding and stuff, I was always like, man, how come I can't be 6'4", 245, just shredded, big dude. But you get to a point that you're so grateful for all the other things in your life. And at some point in your life, you've seen so many things that you have better than what other people have, that creates this internal gratitude that, dude, I'm 5'6". I'm an inch shorter than I was in high school. And short and stocky, and there's not a day that goes by that I go, man, I wish God would have made me different or made me, just a different. I'm just grateful that he made me with the genetics that I do have, and I can work out and build muscle and get lean if I want to and all those things. You had amazing biceps, but I don't.
When I was playing football, it was easy for me to get up to even 300. I think that's about what I maxed out at. But it is also where I am now. It's really hard for me to cut weight. So you probably have a much faster metabolism than I do, and it's probably a little easier for you to lose the weight. It's really easy for me to put weight on, go to add. I can add muscle and add fat really easy. Right. It's really hard for it to come off of me. So the trait that Kylie and I always laugh about is she got diabetes, but she also has an absolute furnace when it comes to her metabolism, and she can eat 10 pounds of cake and won't gain an ounce.
Right.
So it's give and take, where you can get absolutely diced in 2 months. It'll probably take me 10.
Yeah.
So it's give and take.
Yeah. And you look at her and when she was in gymnastics and she was literally doing it 18 hours a week, I remember the moms looking at her going, dude, she's got a six pack. And she did. She had a little six pack. And, but yeah. And I look at Rylie, and when she's talking about all that stuff, genetically, she should be very grateful. I mean, she's got a dad that took third in the Mr. USA. She's got a mom that is a fitness instructor and has a great physique. I mean, genetically, she's got great genetics. I mean, all she got to do is get her ass in the gym and, she could have whatever body she wants. The reality of it is there's the other girls out there that don't have those genetics, right? And I don't know, man, I used to see when I was personal training, years ago, I would see people that would be in the gym every single day, work out religiously, consistently, 2 hours a day and look the same for years. Never change. And so I think about things like that. And to me, I just go, damn, what are you ungrateful about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get your ass in the gym and work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I truly believe that one of the easiest sins is comparing yourself to others and jealousy. You truly believe it's one of the easiest things to do, and it's so wrong. But I believe that once you get past the fact of knowing that what most people post on social media is the best parts of life. I don't even post. I watch a lot. I will watch social a bunch of that, but I don't post a lot on social media. I don't. But when you see my posts, for our Instagram, for example, I just have my homecoming pictures up, and that was a good time. But nobody sees the real parts of what happened actually, and it's all the good parts of look where I went this weekend and look where I'm going next weekend and look at all the places I traveled. And that's what social media is. And I feel like it brings people's self-esteem down so low because they're well, why can't I go there next weekend? Why do you get that flexibility of this and that? And I truly believe it's one of the easiest things to do is be jealous of others around you. I mean, if I had the choice, I wish I didn't get on social media. I truly believe that I would have been so much happier if I wasn't on social media. I eventually want to get off social media, completely.
Well, you're how you able to because you're going into digital marketing.
No, but I'm saying for my personal life, I will have a private Instagram and that would be it. For my close people, not everybody just needs to know what's going on. And I don't want my kids to have social media. I wish that I didn't have social media.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. When her and Bo, I would always look for any excuse. Part of their punishment would be taking their phones. And when I would take it, it wasn't hey, I'm taking your phone for the next hour. I'd be give me your phone. I have it for the week. Yeah. It was in the week I had them. It was done. Give me your phone. And by 2 days in, Rachel and I were dude, do you see how much better they are? Just 2 days into no phone, completely different kids.
We experienced that right now with Landon and Carter, just taking away Minecraft or their iPad for a day.
It's completely different kid. Completely different kid. Just going out, go outside and be a kid. Yeah, they come back in literally a different child. One of the best things I ever did, speaking about gratitude, when I was a teenager, is I'm on a mission trip to Juarez, Mexico, and we build houses for the homeless down there. And it really opened my eyes to, as Americans, how amazing we have it. We're not building houses, at least most of us, out of tires and literally building a house out of trash that you're raising your family in. That was one of the greatest things that God ever did for me, sent me on that mission trip. Yeah. And just playing soccer with kids on a dirt patch and how happy they were to get a new soccer ball. I mean, it wasn't not just the kids. Mexico's not even a third world country. People are happy. And I was only 100 miles over the border, if that. And it was just remarkable how stoked these little kids were to just get a new soccer ball and play and get candy. And I mean, the really amazing thing is the houses that we built for them are actually pretty dang cool, especially compared to what they have. But it really gave me I'm going to really hope, I'm not going to require it, require it of my kids that they do that. But if they have any inclination to do it, I'm 100% going to fund that and push them to go do it.
Yeah. In probably a safer environment.
I'll go with them.
Yeah.
I want them to, if they want to go down to Juarez, 100% go. And I'm well with you. I'll fight a car seven member. It's all right.
What's going on in a teenager's life right now in the world? What is your current events that you're caring about?
Obviously, your dad and I follow politics. We follow finance news. We follow all that sort of stuff.
At the tip of your current event tongue that's going on in your life.
If you were sitting here with one of your girlfriends, you'd be like, hey, did you see this the other day or whatever? Like, what's...
Well, it's just a lot of stupid things that I just don't agree with. So I don't really keep track.
For my age and for yours, I think a little bit less maybe.
But it was following celebrity this, celebrity that, celebrity this. Like,
No, it's like,
is that still a thing? Like, do people still care?
not really. And younger generations, I feel like, have gotten into politics so much that it's like, that's all. Like, I see kids that are younger than me that are on TikTok posting videos about politics. Like, it's a huge thing that younger kids are getting into, but I
Are most of them right-leaning or left-leaning?
left-leaning.
Are they really?
Yeah.
See different stuff.
I mean, from what I see, it's all about, the immigrants. And like, I saw a video today and I was actually showing my dad it earlier this morning. And it was actually an older woman, but she was talking about how they are arresting all these immigrants or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that all these people are actually wondering what these immigrants did. She's like, they didn't do anything. Like, tell us what they did wrong and then you can arrest them. Just like that type of stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, literally, what do you mean? First of all, they should already be arrested for sneaking into a country, right? Like, that's one thing. Like, you're an immigrant, but you came into this country and you terrorized a bunch of different states.
Not all of them. Not all of them. But
No, not all.
yes.
Yes. Some of them came here and got jobs and worked. And
But still illegal.
yes. But yes, there's a reason to be like, you need to go back to your country. Yes. But some of them that came in, that were part of the Venezuelan gangs and all of that stuff. I mean, they terrorized people in a country that's not theirs. I mean, I don't know if you've heard about Lake and Rylie. Did you hear about her?
Of course.
Yeah. There was kids that were killed and terribly murdered by these people and they didn't do anything wrong apparently. So it's just those type of things. I just don't keep track of those things. And then obviously we're going to have the apocalypse and stuff like that.
Wait, when is the apocalypse supposed to come? Just wait.
Oh, I don't know.
Apparently 2025 is the last year of that.
Okay, so this is the end of
This is this year. This year. 2025, baby. Hey, we're going to finish strong. We're going out on top, baby. We're going to finish strong. That's for sure.
But we're all going to go out by the apocalypse. Nothing else, just the apocalypse, which is such a and again, those things I just also don't believe because I also am very Christian and I believe in the Bible and what it says. And then obviously I don't.
There's all the things that need to happen before the apocalypse.
Yeah, I agree. And so it's oh, you have literally a blood moon where the sun goes behind the moon. It's not some special thing. It happens it happens and we're gonna be apocalypse and die, so who knows?
I can promise you the sun and the moon don't give a damn. Work in that year.
Well, and I know that the one thing that I can say that I know my faith was nowhere close to where mine is now and where my daughter's is now, or my kids in general. I was terrified as a kid thinking about World War III, dying and the earth coming into a nuclear fireball. And, my kids now, I can say they're very comfortable with what's next. And they're kind of like me, man. Hey, if life and eternity is after 2025, then we know it's a lot better than this. So let's go. Or whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it just doesn't, it doesn't scare me. And obviously, when I think about it, it's obvious, I want to have a career and I want to get married and do all those things. But I know that if that doesn't happen, I'm good with what happens next because it's going to be a lot better than.
Adults are so scared of death that they never even live, right? I mean, they just don't. And they're just so scared of what's next that they just never truly live. We're not going to do that, are we?
You get one life. You better live it the way and leave with no regrets.
Yeah, that is the perfect mic drop for the end of this episode. You were an absolute rock star.
You were nervous about coming on here and you absolutely
Killed it.
And you are going to come back at least 5 more times. Well, I want to see some Rylie Jo's life.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to bring her on. It'll be a once every couple of months. Give us the teenage view on...
she's the first day the bears on here.
Yep.
We tried to get the wives on here.
I know. Yeah, they would do it.
Driving up, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, I know.
There she is on the couch, killing it.
Yep, I love it. Well, hey, guys. Again, as always, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share the show. We'd love that. And we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you so much for following. And Rylie, thank you so much for being on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.